Hello everybody, I am Bacter and I'd like to welcome you to this Let's Play of Herstory, with the art games thread on something awful, or just for you in particular if you happen to find this on YouTube. So this is an art game. It is narrative heavy and it has got a non-standard playstyle, all of which make it, I think, very interesting. I know opinion is fairly divided. I've seen divided opinions in the thread on how they think the actual execution of it goes. And certainly there are some up and down elements to it, but I think it's a game worth playing and worth seeing. So heck, let's rock out. Let's see it. That's right. It's ER story. No, it's an R story. It's a story about the letter R. It's just a regular story. It's the Tory political party. It's Ori and the Blind Forest. It's, oh really, R-Y? And why not? Because this is her story. That was my comedic intro. Alright, so we're sort of unceremoniously dumped here into this instant file access system. We can see that we've got no query history. We're looking for murder, and we are an auth guest. There's no clip stored in our user session. We've got 232 megabytes of local storage. That, combined with the ambient background noises and the crappy-looking monitor here, let us know that this is apparently an old computer in an old room wherever we are. These are supposed to be fluorescent lights in the background. We see if we move the window around, we can actually, it actually is a reflection on the monitor. And if we move the window kind of up and down, look at the blackness there. We are an empty, void-eyed young woman, sort of a Sith Lord apparently. And so whoever we are, also we've got sort of a southeast constabulary thing, which we can see here in greater detail. Southeast Constabulary. Maybe someone from the British Isles would identify that more easily than I, but to me it just looks fancy. According to the clock, it is tropical o'clock, and this is 16:06:15. I actually know what that means. It doesn't correspond to many dating systems that I have. Maybe it does, who knows. Anyway, it's not like June, so it's incorrect. We're in an alternate time and place, unless you're actually watching this in June, in which case my apologies. So what do we got? Here's a README. I'm not going to quite go through this. I'm going to slowly scroll through it, so if any of you want to read it, you may. Basically, this is footage from Homicide and Serious Crime Archive at Portsmouth, and the deal is everything is archived in maybe the dumbest way possible. I'm sure we could all imagine a dumber way. But the idea is all of the clips of the testimony have been transcribed automatically and then archived such that in order to bring up any clip from any piece of testimony, one must enter a word which was spoken in the testimony in this search field here. It will then bring up a series of video clips, each of which are anywhere from 1 to several sentences, and all of them are spoken, I think, by the witness, not by the investigators or anything like that. And why are we doing this? Well, we've got a Freedom of Information form to get us guest access, and this happened in 1999, so it's been quite a while. Obviously, couldn't find the server with the detectives' footage on, and the old archives were flooded, but this will be enough, says SB, our mysterious benefactor. So we're looking into something which happened in a homicide or serious crime setting, and that's why we're searching for murder, apparently. We've also got a database checker, and we can see all of the volumes here. One volume is missing, which is interesting. And do notice that all of these things are red. Every time we watch a clip, one of these will fill in, showing us how far we've gotten into watching the whole story. Her story, potentially. That's what the game tells us. And because we're savvy people and we've already looked at our own reflection, we've also probably going to check the rubbish bin, where we see hack.info and mirror game. The mirror game is this thing here, and you can click in different places and put down dots for various points. You can, you turn your players' dots into some of your own if you play your cards right. I'm sure there's an intelligent way to play this which isn't just mass clicking the way that I am. But that's the kind of thing that I'm doing, because when I've been granted access to some super important files, I like to spend my time hemming and hawing around. The game is called The Mirror Game, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it have different names other places, so, you know, you never know when something is going to be meaningful, I guess. This seems like a game which thrives on economy. It's given us a lot of little neat details that I think would be easy to miss. Well, player 2 wins, and that's a nice little Trump sound there. The hack.info is just a short description of what's actually in the game, along with some incredible ASCII art. I wonder if that's even us. No, I don't. It's not. Alright, so, down to the real meat and potatoes of the game. This is a game in which we piece together a story, and we must do so by searching for relevant keywords. Anyway, if you search murder, you only get 4 clips, and in a murder investigation, that seems weird. I'm presuming it's a murder investigation. I don't actually know yet, so let's click on the clips.
You think it's murder?
Apparently. Notice.
I mean, clearly it's murder.
She said the word.
What can I do to help?
What indeed? Okay, so is some kind of murder investigation going on?
Yeah, that's me. But February, and that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Interesting. Is this woman a suspect in, quote, Simon's murder?
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
Good to know. So she is a suspect in the murder?
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
Yes, I suspect you might.
Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
Gotta say, that doesn't sound awfully convincing. So, apparently there's somebody named Simon. He has been murdered, and she is a suspect. Notice that she's in different outfits, and, you know, there's different days and times, so that's the kind of thing that might be important to make a note of. Also, I didn't look at this up here, but you can turn off and on video subtitles. The anti-glare filter is neat because it just gives you this, which is, you know, a bit easier on the eyes, but we're going to go for realism and turn that sucker off. So the way that we do this game is we look for keywords. I noticed that they said Simon a whole bunch of times, and we search for those. It brings up more clips. Now notice we only get access to the first 5 entries. I said before that this was almost the dumbest way to search, to compile and store data, and this is, I think, what pushes it over the top into possibly the dumbest, is that we don't get to see all of the clips associated with Simon. If we want to see those other, 56 clips, we are going to have to think of other search terms which, you know, will yield different results. Let's watch the last 5 of these clips, and then the way the thread is going to go is I'm going to ask for your suggestions on what to search for next, or if you're just watching this on YouTube, you can list them in the comments. I will take them into account, and I will go from there. They're going to be fairly short videos. I'm hopefully going to get a few ideas of search terms and search all of those. We'll get more clips from there, then we'll talk about what the story might be, what we think is going on, and yeah, so I'm planning on many videos, relatively short, and you know, we're gonna play this game together. I have actually played the game before, so I know the story, and I would ask that anyone who's in my position refrain from suggesting. Keep this spoiler-free. Don't tell us to search for instance, caveman, if you know that the actual murder was committed by a caveman. Let's keep it classy. Something awful in YouTube. On we go.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
An artisanal glassmaker, not a particularly popular job, but there you have it.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said I should bring a photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
So they apparently know each other fairly well. I default assumed husband and wife, but it doesn't have to be that. And not to alarm anyone, but I myself am 6 feet tall, of average build, and clean-shaven, with blondish brown hair and a beard that I shave because it grows in red. So am I actually Simon? I backed her. That's the kind of thing you can only get the answer to by watching more of the Let's Play. I'm not actually Simon.
It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Doesn't sound like they go together, although it does sound like she knows who's there.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
I sometimes play games where I climb okay, sorry.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
So apparently at this point they either hadn't found the body or hadn't told her that they'd found the body or something like that. So the mystery thickens. Again, as I said, I know that there was some divided response, but I think this is at least an interesting enough concept that I would like to show off how it's done. And I hope you've enjoyed this first session of Let's Play Herstory, and I will hope you will join me as we unravel the mystery of what happened to poor Simon.